Epistemology is the area of philosophy that deals with the study of knowledge. It is relevant to study because we use it in our everyday lives, so studying it can make it as clear as possible of what constitutes knowledge. There are two theories that explain the question of what is knowledge. They are empiricism and rationalism. Empiricism is a theory that says that knowledge is a posteriori. It comes from experience or evidence presented by the senses. A posteriori knowledge is knowledge that comes after sense experience. So this knowledge depends on evidence presented by the senses. One of the most famous philosophers in the world, who was an empiricist himself, was the one and only Aristotle. According to Aristotle, knowledge comes from experience and evidence comes from senses. He believed that reason came into play after people experienced things. In his epistemology, experiences are crucial. This means that we only truly know something after we experience or live through it. A well-known empiricist is philosopher John Locke, who believed that at our birth our minds are a completely blank slate, also known as tabula rasa, which contain absolutely nothing. And as we grow, we have sensations and experiences, that this slate becomes more and more full, and out of this material, we create our ideas, concepts, and beliefs about the world. Let's say, for example, when you burn your hand on a hot stove, you feel a sensation of heat, which then leads you to realize that the stove was hot, which gives you an idea to not touch it again. David Hume had a similar idea to Locke's idea of sensation, but he believed that sensations were stronger than the resulting idea. David Hume is most famous for the induction fallacy, which states that just because something has always happened, it is not guaranteed that it will happen again in the future. For most of your school life, you've been using a blue pen, and all you ever know is that blue pens exist. But then when you ask to borrow a pen from your friend, they give you a red pen, and now you have a new belief that pens come in various colors. And this is due to the new experience of this pen that shifts your knowledge. Rationalism is a theory that says that knowledge is a priori. It comes from exercising human ability to reason. Another well-known philosopher is Plato, who developed the theory of rationalism. Plato believed that the soul is born with all the knowledge, but when we were born physically, we lose it, and we are now trying to remember all the knowledge that we have lost. We enter this world with innate knowledge, known as a priori knowledge. According to Plato, knowledge is a properly justified true belief, and the conditions for knowledge is that you have to believe in it has to be true, and you need logical and rational evidence. A rationalist would argue that we acquire higher knowledge through reasoning, using methodical reasoning, contemplation, deductive logic, and mathematics. Let's say, for example, a person is on a tall cliff. The rationalist would know not to jump because he or she is born with that innate knowledge to know that logically they would die. On the other hand, an empiricist wouldn't believe that they would die because they don't have that knowledge because they haven't experienced falling off the cliff, which to me sounds foolish. French philosopher René Descartes used deductive reasoning to prove knowledge. He believed that senses and human experience are not grounds for knowledge. He used his philosophy, I think, therefore I am, to prove his point, because the only thing that he knows for sure is that he exists due to the fact that he is thinking. Immanuel Kant was a rationalist who tried to tie the two theories together. He came up with a synthetic a priori judgment, which takes experience and adds that information to a previous concept that is known through logic. The experienced things in life adds more information to make the concept actual valuable knowledge. Skepticism is a theory that is used as a tool, which doubts all assumptions until they are proven. A skeptic questions something and does not know whether something is valid or not. An extreme skeptic denies that any knowledge is possible. So, when it comes to knowing something, are you a rationalist or an empiricist?
Created using Powtoon.